Star Wars Battlefront II just finished having its biggest day ever on Steam, with 17,668 soldiers on the battlefield at its peak. And it looks like today we might be going for a repeat, as already 13,000 players are playing and it's not even peak hours yet. Battlefront Updates received word from his inside sources that Battlefront 2 had 300,000 concurrent players as peak hours approached the game yesterday. This spurred a ton of Battlefront 2 hype from past developers, including Harvey Newman, who said, "Loving the renewed hype around Battlefront 2, I was lead animator on the game. If Battlefront 3 ever happens, I'd love to return. The team was excellent and my community feedback loop was the best I've seen in my entire career. So many ideas left on the table." That last part gets me very excited. And last night around midnight, there were so many players that they crashed the servers of Battlefront 2. Then Dennis Braunval tweeted for the first time in 2 years, stating that he felt a great disturbance in the Force. This is the creative director for Star Wars Battlefront, meaning we could be seeing something awakening beyond just Twitter. And the first time we've seen EA comment on Battlefront at all was from their F1 account on Instagram, saying, "Battlefront 3, no. Three-way battles at the front, yes." It's strange, it feels a little bit mocking, but at the very least, there's some type of acknowledgement from EA itself. EA can throw shade all they want, but the numbers are there. We're breaking out on Steam, PlayStation, and officially Xbox has now had Star Wars Battlefront 2 hit their trending page as well. That is every single major gaming platform that Battlefront is on receiving huge numbers from the player base. Despite this, no one connected to Star Wars, EA, or Disney has made an official statement on Battlefront 3 beyond that F1 account. And so now fans are starting to call for a boycott of EA games, saying community action might not be enough, we might have to hit them in their wallets. Let's talk about it. Real quick, huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. They have literally the best deals in gaming. I use it all the time. If you like Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars for $2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, $1.70. If you want to play the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, Men of War Assault Squad 2, $3. Extremely popular games can be up to 99% off. Link in the description below. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video. Alright boys, before we get into the more sour news on Star Wars Battlefront II Resurgence Day, I just want to comment on how absolutely incredible the experience was yesterday playing with everyone. It has not been the best day for news about Star Wars Battlefront, but at the very least, in terms of a community event, Resurgence Day was so good. It was incredible to play with everyone for so long, full lobby after full lobby, with pretty much everyone chatting it up inside every single lobby. Everyone was talking, everyone was commenting on how they wanted Battlefront 3 and chatting. It was the most active I've seen the Star Wars community in a very long time, and that felt so good after really not having great Star Wars news for a number of years now, having lackluster games, having lackluster pretty much experiences in TV shows and movies, to now have Star Wars having a big resurgence, pun kind of intended. It just feels so good, man. It really, really does. And I just have to say thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to everyone who helped set this up. Bombastic, Zany, a ton of Twitter accounts and YouTube channels, both big and small. Everyone helped make that big 300,000 number happen. I was shocked by that number. And while that number is a loose number from insiders, Battlefront Updates has been a reliable source of information 4 years, and he does have confirmed insiders. So as long as the insiders were telling the truth, you know, I tend to believe Battlefront updates. So really, really cool to hear that news, and I'm excited to see where the game goes from there. You know, experiencing both the hype from in-game chat as well as going on Twitter and Reddit between rounds and looking at the player counts and seeing, you know, where we're at, how close we are to different records, and just watching that number climb and climb and climb throughout the night was such a cool experience. I have not had that kind of communal gaming experience since like 2020 during the virus. And that was because everyone was stuck at home. This was just a random Saturday, and it looks like we might be on track to have another huge blockbuster day today on Sunday. And I think a big reason for that is people not only went and played the game yesterday, but they realized while they were playing, like, hey, wait a second, this game's really fun. I forgot how fun this is. Not to mention a whole generation of Star Wars fans is right now, you know, coming to the point where they start owning game consoles or computers and things like that. People that weren't around during the release of Battlefront 2 and are playing it for the first time now and will hopefully, you know, continue to play it into the future. So I think the hopes are really high. Oh, Luke! I think the hopes are incredibly high for Star Wars Battlefront in the future. I think we could be seeing some big things, but not everything is all peachy. We really didn't get much recognition from Disney, EA, DICE, Star Wars themselves, anyone associated officially with Star Wars. We didn't make the news for them, apparently. Oh my god, now it's Yoda. What's with these green lightsaber fools messing with me right now? What is this? Yeah, the most we got really was the F1 Instagram account, which is disappointing to say the very least, to see that being kind of our only mainstream recognition of an account semi-associated with Battlefront. Oh my god. Brother, let me play the game, Jedi. What are these spawns? I'm spawning far away right now. We're getting out of here, boys. We gotta fight at a distance right now because we're getting clapped by... I was behind cover. How did he shoot? What? Okay. I don't know. Hackers, I also experienced a number of hackers last night. I'm hoping that is not going to continue trending into today. But we just don't know. Alright, why don't we go with Rocket Trooper here and see what we can do. So, yeah, no real official recognition from Star Wars or anyone associated, which does kind of blow. I really wish we had gotten something. I mean, come on. Your entire community is coming out and organizing for a 8-year-old game that is beloved, and you can't even post to Twitter recognizing that beyond some shade from an F1 account? Like, guys, what are we doing here? I think that's kind of cringe. I really think they could have done better in terms of PR, because this is a slam dunk. You did not have to announce Star Wars Battlefront 3. You did not have to announce continued work on Battlefront 2. All you had to do was acknowledge your community that is keeping your game alive single-handedly without your help at all. That's it. That's all you had to do. And apparently that was not going to be happening. That was just not not something they were interested in doing, which I think is really crappy. I really think that they should have said something. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. As a community, I think we can walk away from this extremely proud in what we've done, because we have done something really cool, rebirthing an 8-year-old game that has not gotten an update in 5 years. That is something to be proud of. And not only that, just because we did not get any mentions yesterday does not mean that we will not see mentions coming out from Star Wars or EA in the future. We have to acknowledge the fact that game studios work incredibly slow. I was never expecting Star Wars Battlefront 3 to be announced yesterday. I was never expecting them to say they're starting to work on Battlefront 2. That was never in my thoughts. All I wanted was a little recognition, you know, towards the community. Them saying, wow, fans, we hear you, that was incredible. You know, that's all I was looking to see. I did not expect a game announcement. I think if you did, you know, it's a little foolish, because at the end of the day, game studios have to make sure they have the budget, they have the team available to work on it, and despite all of these directors and creative designers coming out and saying, I will come back to Star Wars and work on this, that doesn't mean they're going to immediately, right away, get to it. There's got to be pitches, there's got to be all sorts going on. So, while I think we did not get any recognition, I think we might have gotten the ball running in some board meetings with Disney, with EA, with someone to potentially get something worked on in the future. And I think we did a great job, and I think potentially we could be seeing an announcement in maybe a year or two. I think it's disappointing they didn't do any acknowledgement, but an announcement was far from expected for me at the very least. So I was not disappointed in that, just in the fact that they really didn't give us any recognition for going on the game, playing for hours, and having 300,000 players in-game potentially. That deserves a little recognition, boys. Come on. We're gonna hop in a TIE Fighter, even though I'm absolute booty cheeks at flying in pretty much every single video game I've ever played in my life. I will still give it a try. Impressive. Incredible. Amazing. So yeah, either way, because there was no acknowledgement, that sort of got everyone buzzing online that like, hey, the only thing we got was some shade from F1. What do we do now? You know, like, yes, we'll continue playing the game because it's fun. Yes, we're going to, you know, continue to have a great weekend and continue playing this weekend, which is true. That's what's happening right now. Tons of people still playing as we speak. And that's great. But, you know, what's sort of the next step to get what we want? Some recognition and potentially a future game. Well, a lot of people are saying to boycott EA. And to be completely honest with you, while I agree, boycotting is fantastic, at the end of the day, letting Battlefront II die again is not exactly the way that we're going to get Battlefront III made. The game had 500 concurrent players on average month by month before the random spike about 3 weeks ago. It was about as dead as a boycott could make it. Boycotting this game again is just going to make EA see this as a flash in the pan. Think about Morbius. Everyone was memeing on how we needed to see Morbius return to theaters, and then Sony bit and then no one watched it. And that was a funny meme because no one actually cared about Morbius. But if you want Battlefront to come back, you need to continue to play it. You need to continue to show support for the game. I think boycotting does work, but in this instance, not quite. I think boycotting worked really well for Battlefront 2 originally. What am I doing here? For Battlefront 2 originally, when they had all of those predatory game systems going on, like the loot box scandal and the pay to win. That works because they want people to play their new game, and not playing it really resulted in them losing money and their whole investment, and it also pissed off Disney and got Disney mad at EA. Bro, I am terrible at Boba Fett, huh? Much better Bosk player. So, I think in this instance, it will just make EA see that and go, oh, okay, so people aren't really interested in Battlefront, they just were kind of making a fuss and now it's over again. We don't want that. We want EA to see this as Battlefront making a resurgence and potentially having a big player base for the future yet again. That's what we want. We don't want to boycott right now and ruin our good graces. It's just not the best strategy in my opinion. That's all I have to say about that. We're back on Bosk. If you want to boycott EA for other reasons, I fully agree. I think, you know, EA is one of the most boycotted companies in gaming, right up there with Activision Blizzard, which has been boycotted a million times. And these boycotts, well, truthfully, they never really work. You know, no one sticks with them long term. If you're an Overwatch player and, you know, you're addicted to that competitive gameplay, you're just gonna hop back on it in a few weeks after the whole boycott mess dies out. And the companies are banking on that. no one's really expecting you to hold on to this boycott forever, or at least the full player base being able to hold on to it forever. Maybe a few diehards will, but it's not really losing them all that much money. So I just don't see this doing really all that much for us. I think it honestly hurts the cause more than it helps the cause. And I fully understand being frustrated by EA overall. I mean, they've done a horrible job with Battlefield in recent years. They've done a horrible job with Star Wars in recent years. They've done a horrible job with pretty much everything in recent years. So, to see that this game is maybe not even going to get recognition for a big blowout day, boycotting feels like the honest answer, but in truth, it probably isn't going to be. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll continue covering Star Wars Battlefront 2 as we get more information and hopefully we get some actual recognition. But at the moment, it seems like all is quiet on the Star Wars front. But again, I had so much fun playing. I will be continuing to play in my free time in the days to come, and I hope you guys do too. And let's make Star Wars Battlefront 3 happen, baby.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.